says. Now, if your wife starts chasing you around and start trying to destroy you every step of the way because you're just looking to see if there's a fire. I'm not trying to scare anybody in the house, honey. I want to see if there's a fire because I smell smoke. It is reasonable to track it down. Is it not? Is it not? And if she continued to do that, you would wonder, gosh, does she not want me to find the fire? Did she set the fire? What is this? It's irrational, especially if we both love our home and our family. The tough thing is when you do find fire, no matter who she is or what she's done or how you feel about her, in the end, you're going to have to be the one that drags her butt out of the house. Now, what do the radicals do? We look at the radicals. We look at the radicals in the White House and around this president. These guys are all around the president. May I ask you a question? Do you know anybody that was in the Weather Underground? One. Do you know one person? Do you know anybody that was in SDS and a leader of it? I don't. Now, maybe it's just me. But this guy has them everywhere. Everywhere. What are the odds? Shouldn't somebody say, I smell smoke. I smell smoke here. Shouldn't we look into that? You know, they said this years ago. It wasn't unreasonable. These were sent to me by a listener, and I can't thank you enough for people sending me old documents and old books and everything else. I've preserved them. This actually was from a professor who died and was purchased in his estate sale. These are old congressional hearings. These are old congressional investigations on this topic. Somebody smelled smoke. Somebody smelled smoke. And now nobody's reading this stuff. Nobody's looking back into the past and saying, wait a minute, what was happening? What were these people doing at the time? And what are they doing today? Now, I have to warn you about something. I have to warn you that the next hour and the next day, tomorrow's show as well, is going to, well, we have just annoying radical hippie speak ahead. If you miss anything or you have a hard time following, go to my website at glennbeck.com and read the manifesto. It is posted there on the front page. But let's roll up our sleeve now and get into it. The authors recognized the typical historic progression of a revolution. The authors, again, of this are these people. Remember, these people are involved with the Apollo Alliance and Acorn, and I mean, this is the usual suspects here. But they are not directly in the White House with the president. But watch what they suggested that radical revolutionaries would do in 1969, okay? They said it usually takes two steps. Their goal was to kill the capitalist system and install world socialism, okay? The first thing, in their words, was a dictatorship of a new democracy. This is a key word. It was a compromise between the poor and the working classes in America. Then, out of this new democracy would develop socialism. The steps. 1, a united front against imperialism and for a new democracy. And 2, developing out of the new democratic stage, socialism. But the Weather Underground wanted a quick one-step move for revolution. That plan turned out to be too radical to be successful, and that's when they went into the bombings. They decided that it might be better here to move into a more acceptable form of slow and soft revolution. The man in the administration initially putting in the charge of economic revolution towards a green economy was Van Jones. He said almost this. This is, you tell me.
To pursue those same steps and stages. Right now we're saying we want to move from suicidal gray capitalism to some kind of eco-capitalism where, at least we're not, fast-tracking the destruction of the whole planet. Will that be enough? No, it won't be enough. We want to go beyond systems of exploitation and oppression altogether, but that's a process.
We're going to change the whole system. We're going to change the whole thing. We're not going to put a new battery in a broken system.
Got it? A system of oppression. That's what this is all about. That's what they call capitalism, imperialism, and oppression. So now what is the next stage after the fusion of the poor and working classes under the green banner that Jones has worked on? Well, the other Weather Underground, you accomplish this. It's very, very specific. Quote, when imperialism is defeated in the U.S., it will be replaced by socialism, nothing else. Now, the move towards socialism, that's not a secret. Let's not forget that Newsweek has declared we're all socialists now. The people have noticed it as well. 55% of Americans think that President Obama is a socialist, and that comes from the hard right-wing source of James Carville's polling company. But the Weather Underground knew exactly how difficult of a sell socialism would be to the American people. We are the most prosperous nation on earth. How could you possibly change us? How do you successfully convince America that they need a revolution? Well, here it is. There's the problem. People are going to resist. Solution, quote, first by creating a pervasive politicization, and second by relating everything to the most militant and advanced struggles going on. So they influence and set the pace for a lot more people. So what does this mean? It means make everything political. Everything is political. It all has to go through a central government. Second, create or relate to a crisis. That's how you can convince people. Now, the next problem. People like the free market. They have stuff. Now, this is a standard tactic of politicians today. What do? They beat up America. They say that it's worse than it really is. Everything's political. Create or relate to a crisis. It's horrible. You have to equate the capitalist system and our challenges to the worst in the entire world. Well, have we seen that yet? Are they doing this?
This must have happened by Nazis, Soviets in their gulags, or some mad regime, Pol Pot or others, that had no concern for human beings.
Terrorists kill people. Weapons of mass destruction have the potential to kill enormous numbers of people. Global warming, long term, has the potential to kill everybody.
America is not clearly going to be the dominant economic superpower in the long run.
Okay. The radicals of the Weather Underground knew that they still had an uphill battle. Luckily, they also felt that they were smarter than everyone else, and they could understand things that the masses couldn't, because the masses were petty. Quote, much of this category gets some relative privileges, i.e. benefits, from imperialism, which constitutes some material basis for being racist or pro-imperialist. Now, what does that mean? People like the free market. They have stuff. Well, it just means that people are stupid or they're bigots. That's it. See, they're talking about you. You're not enlightened. You can't see the correct path. So they have to avoid and not talk to you about it because you're too ignorant or you're a bigot. Or, may I put it another way, here's the president.
You go into some of these small towns in Pennsylvania, like a lot of small towns in the Midwest, yeah, the jobs have been gone now for 25 years and nothing's replaced it. And they've gone through the Clinton administration and the Bush administration, and each successive administration has said that somehow these communities are going to regenerate, and they have not. So it's not surprising then that they get better and they claim to guns or religion or antipathy towards people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant sentiment, or anti-trade sentiment.
See, what the ignorant masses, that would be you, don't understand it, is while they're clinging to their silly traditions, the truth is their wealth really isn't theirs. It's not their wealth. You don't own anything. You don't own anything. We're going to take you to the next step. You see, in a truly progressive society, the wealth belongs to the world. And I'm going to show you what they say and then play the tapes and things, and you just decide, are we executing this plan piece by piece every single day? And if so, where does it end? More in a second.